watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
6 a.m. on this Wednesday. So glad you're with us on a hot day here. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampur. At least it starts off cool.
Yes, that's true. Right.
But let's see how hot we're about to get, because yesterday, I'm sure for inland people, it's like a shock to the system.
It was for me.
Yeah. If you hung out along the coast, like myself, I was like, what heat up? It felt quite comfortable. But yeah, the coastal areas today are going to get a taste of that heat. So unfortunately, for the inland valleys, the heat will be on repeat this afternoon until temperatures start to simmer down tomorrow into Friday. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at yesterday's highs as we take a look at what we hit in terms of temperatures. We got close to 100 degrees for areas like Valley Center, high 80s for La Mesa, and we were in the low 90s in Poway. We were spoiled with 70s for the coastal areas, but I assure you it's going to be a lot warmer for the beach and coastal communities when we look ahead to this afternoon. Yesterday's peak winds were also pretty impressive. We clocked in close to 60-mile-per-hour gusts for Howell Canyon as well as Sill Hill. The winds peaked today. The winds peaked yesterday and the heat peaks today. So overall, we're still looking at dry, windy, and warm conditions, amplifying fire danger. The heat advisory sticks with the inland valleys for one more day until expiring tonight at 7 o'clock. Here's what you can expect for highs where you live. We'll talk more about what we can expect as we wrap up the month of October. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. And as Vanessa just mentioned, heat advisory in effect right now. We have Santa Ana winds, low humidity. This raises fire concerns.
CBS 8's Regina Yarita at Coles Mountain with some important reminders as we deal with these hot temps here. Regina.
Yeah, that's correct. Good morning, Eric and Netta. And it seems like we'll be taking that pumpkin spice latte to the beach. But even as Vanessa mentioned, the coastal areas seem to be warmer or will be warmer later today. Now, at this time, I'm wearing a coat just because it is cold right now, but those temperatures will start to increase. So a couple things to remember during this time, or at least during these temperatures, is those heat-related illnesses. If you are considering outdoor activities, county officials are recommending that you reconsider, try to get that workout at this time. Temperatures are expected to increase. In fact, several parts of San Diego County will experience a spike in temperatures this week. So again, when we're talking about extreme heat, the county recommends San Diegans to reconsider those outdoor activities, or warning residents to take precautions to avoid heat-related illnesses. A couple things you want to remember, some tips to beat the heat. The most important one, staying hydrated. You can remain cool by using fans, air conditioners, or cool zones. You want to make sure to limit strenuous outdoor activities. If you're out on a walk or outside in general, try to wear lightweight, loose-fitting clothes. And if you have pets, be mindful of the hot pavements and feed them plenty of water. When it comes to extreme heat, we have to talk about fire preparedness. So during hotter temperatures, you should avoid outdoor burning and any spark-producing activities. Review your evacuation plan and have a go bag ready for all times. And you also want to stay alert for any updates if a fire should occur. So back out here, we are noticing several hikers here already at Cowles Mountain. Again, it is cooler temperatures, but later today that is going to change. So if you are looking to get that morning workout in, definitely a good time right now. I'm Regina Yarita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. An update this morning, a ground stop at San Diego International has been lifted. It was issued last night due to the fog. It expired at 11:15 p.m. Still, be sure to check your flight status before you head to the airport here this morning. We are still seeing some delays out there. If you live within San Diego city limits, you can expect to pay a lot more for your water.
Last night, San Diego City Council narrowly approved a rate hike. CBS 8's Chris Grow live downtown with how much more San Diegans will have to pay. Something else we now have to change our budget for. Chris?
Yeah, one of the most expensive places to live continues to get a little bit more expensive here. Water rates going to go up starting in 2026 after we saw this narrow vote of approval here by San Diego City Council. But the opposition says they're going to continue to fight, and they are very upset about what was approved just last night.
Say that they're lowering the rate from the 62%, but the next 2 years are still going up the same amount that they said were, and 15% over 2 years, 15 and 15. People can't afford that.
I'm not going to sit here and vote to pass on the water costs of someone who has not done enough to keep rates down. And I'm not going to sit here and lay off our employees. I'm not going to sit here and put off our own CIPs. Don't pay the water bill. They're not going to turn off our tap
Yeah, and so you're hearing varying opinions there. You heard first from the resident who was complaining again. Look, the original plan was for a more than 62% increase over 4 years, about 15% each year. By going down to what they approved, which is more than 30% over 2 years, 50% each year, that's not making things cheaper in the short term, or that's not, you're still increasing costs there in the short term. But that is what the city council approved in a 5-4 vote. 15% each year for the next 2 years starting in January. The city says that they have to do this because of rising costs from the county water authority, aging infrastructure, and pure water operations that left them no choice. Now, we did hear from one council member who was, again, someone who voted yes, Raul Campillo, who have this to say, arguing that it's a public safety issue.
I'm not going to look at any of my constituents in the face, and God forbid there be a fire in our district and burn down their house and say, we didn't prioritize infrastructure to keep water pressure up.
Now, the people who are in opposition that we heard from at that city council meeting yesterday say that they will continue to fight this before the rate hike goes into effect. Eric Annetta.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. An update this morning. The city of San Marcos is moving forward with new e-bike rules. They were approved last night, including a ban on riders under the age of 12. The proposal also ramps up enforcement and safety education, adds signs to keep e-bikes off business district sidewalks, and expands training programs with local schools. To pay for it, the city will shift $77,000 towards safety campaigns, sheriff's overtime, signage, and outreach. San Marcos follows several other San Diego County cities with similar rules, including Chula Vista.
Another update to share with you this morning. A new safe parking lot is coming to the former Central Elementary School site, giving families living in their cars a secure place to stay overnight. San Diego Unified School Board approved this plan last night. Under the agreement, San Diego Unified families will receive priority access to the site. Jewish Family Services will run the program and connect families to services. This agreement starts November 1st and lasts through next November. Next year, San Diego Unified is expected to redevelop the land into affordable workforce housing.
Let's take a peek outside here. Weather impact alert today because it is going to be hot inland.
Right. We are looking at extreme heat blanketing interior parts of the county, and some of those warm temperatures will finally spill into the coastal spots. I know yesterday we were stuck in the 70s for a lot of neighborhoods across our coastal neighborhoods. Today they'll actually feel a lot warmer than yesterday. Some spots soaring close to 80 degrees. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look outside. This is from one of our coastal cams facing the water. We're not really looking at any clouds this morning, and that's resulting into another cool start. We're at 57 degrees in downtown San Diego. Winds fairly light out of the northwest of about 3 miles per hour. We're currently tracking mostly 50s and 60s across our most populated neighborhoods, stretching from the coast all the way towards the inland valleys. Ramona waking up at 47 degrees, but I'm laughing because Ramona is actually going to be one of the warmer spots later on this afternoon, potentially breaking some daily max records. We're at 62 right now in Palomar Mountain, 67 in Julian, 58 in Mount Laguna, and 56 out in Borrego Springs. Here's what's on tap for our microclimates. In terms of daytime highs, will be in the low 80s along the coastal areas, mid 90s inland, mid 80s in the mountains, and will average low 90s for our deserts. So here's a look at your weather headlines as we get the second half of the work week going and say adios to October and hello to November this weekend. Still dry, windy, and warm, amplifying fire danger. Remember, we haven't had much rain and we're still in a deficit when it comes to our water year numbers. So we're susceptible to any wildfires sparking rapidly and easily. The heat peaks today and then temperatures will start to come crashing down, especially for the coast and valleys as early as tomorrow. So we have one more day for this heat advisory expiring at 7 o'clock tonight. And what that really means is limit time outside. They don't put these advisories in place for no reason. They just want you to take extreme caution, especially if you're susceptible to those heat-related illnesses. If you work outside, make sure that you're taking frequent breaks in the shade, and hopefully you have time to take take breaks inside air conditioning. All right, here's a quick look at today's highs where you live across our neighborhoods. As I mentioned, we will be soaring close to 100 degrees for areas like Santee as well as El Cajon. Those neighborhoods that hug the 15 corridor will climb into the low 90s, 89 later on this afternoon for Vista, and we could potentially again break a record this afternoon for them. Low 80s in Palomar Mountain, mid to high 90s out in Escondido as well as Poway. And as I mentioned yesterday, we saw a lot more mid 70s across the coastal areas. Well, today we'll see a lot more upper 70s from Encinitas or Solana Beach rather, all the way down to Del Mar. Low 80s for Oceanside as well as Carlsbad. All right, 6:10 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what's happening on your freeways as we give you a live look outside. This is a 78 in both directions right at Nordahl. Coming out your screen is that drive as you make your way in from Escondido headed towards San Marcos. Right side is that eastbound drive as you make your way onto the 15. This is the 805 in both directions. We have some light brake tapping. It could be worse. It typically is worse, but again, it's still really early. That will likely pick up as we progress into the 6 o'clock hour. We are averaging anywhere between 67, 72 mile per hour speeds coming in from the North County. That's out of Oceanside as well as Escondido. If you're traveling in from Santee or the La Mesa Grossmont area, anywhere between 50 to about 70 mile per hour speeds or so. And as I mentioned, we're seeing some light brake tapping, but it's not too bad. Anywhere between 60 to 65 mile per hour speeds coming in from Chula Vista as well as National City. As far as travel times, anywhere between 10 to nearly 30 to get you southbound in from Encinitas down to the top of the Golden Triangle. About 15 minutes or so, full span of the 78 from the 15 all the way towards the 5. If you're traveling in from the East County, no major issues nor delays. In fact, we're all in the green. Looking at Wednesday light overall, 5 to 7 minutes for those westbound drives, 70 mile per hour speeds on the 8 coming in from Grossmont, making your way into the College area. All right, at 6:11, let's go ahead and take a look at your border wait times and see what we're tracking. Really easy drives this morning. 30 minutes right now inbound from San Ysidro's port of entry. If you're traveling in from Otay Mesa, about an hour at last check.